Hey, real estate agents, welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on?
How you been?
I've been good. And you?
It's been a while, I think, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm a very happy football fan right now.
Football. Don't get me started. My Chiefs are
Cardinals
not doing very good.
Cardinals are 7-0, baby.
7-0.
Is that crazy? Who would have thought, right?
It's not crazy. I mean, we've been waiting for a long time, right?
Yeah. Who would have thought, though? And who would have thought the Chiefs would be as bad as they are?
Well, they always stunk.
Oh, come
They
on.
only won the Super Bowl once, so
Yeah.
at least recently.
Wait, have the Cardinals won?
a long time ago when they weren't in Phoenix.
Yeah, there you go. See. All right. Hey, we have a great guest with us in the house today. We have Joe Sisneros, broker owner of JS Real Estate, as well as Jerry Bush and Corlene Remmers, both agents with JS Real Estate. How you guys doing?
Full house.
Good, real good.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
our pleasure.
So we're gonna dive right in. Why don't we get started with you all sharing? We'll just go each one of you. How long you been in real estate and what got you into the business in the beginning?
So, my career started in 2005 at the height of the market.
Wow, yeah.
Got to experience both the height and the steep fall of
Pretty
the
quick,
real estate
huh?
market. Yeah, it was real enlightening.
Yeah.
Fantastic experience. I made a transition from the tech industry to real estate, hoping to have a more relaxed lifestyle.
I'm curious, where tech-wise were you working?
I was working out in Tucson. We
Okay.
had a company called ProLogic Management Systems that we took public in 1996. And shortly after that, I came up here to Phoenix, made that transition, and ran a tech company that was doing consulting
Oh,
prior to that industry being moved offshore,
okay.
and started my real estate career in 2005. So it's been quite the experience. Learned a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
A lot more
Absolutely.
things in technology. We've tried to take my technology background into the company, and we're going to be launching some new tools that'll help agents quite a bit.
Awesome.
Well, good. You were in the tech business, weren't you?
I asked. I used to work at JDA Software back in 2000.
JDA, I know the company.
Yeah, so 2000, I got out of that business in 2002, became a loan officer. Now I'm a real estate agent. So we have a very similar background.
I think real estate's a safe harbor.
It is,
for
if
people
you
making
know how to
career.
work.
Yeah, you got to learn how to work.
Yes.
Not 8 to 5.
That's right.
And you got to experience a lot of different things that you don't experience in the corporate world.
Yeah, exactly.
Learn how to work. I thought that people get in the business because they want to control their schedule. That's like not true, right?
Well, I think that people realize that very quickly, that we're working for our clients,
That's right.
and the clients dictate our schedules.
Yep.
So true.
Absolutely. How about you, Jerry?
Well, I became a realtor, got my license actually October of the year 2000. So it's 21. I'm 21 years in the business now. Prior to that, I was the owner-operator of a machinery design and manufacturing company. We made large machinery that was used in the manufacture of print circuit boards. And I was lucky enough to sell that company. And then I said, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Because I was too young to retire in my mind. So what I did is a friend came out here from Wisconsin, and she says, oh, I need to get a house. Can you help me? And I said, well, sure. So I went to a Lennar community in East Mesa, brand new one, and she fell in love with the house. And I'm walking her through the house, and after we went into the sales office, and apparently the sales lady had been watching me. And she said, oh, are you her agent? And I said, no, I'm not a realtor. And then the light bulb went on in my head. I've always been in sales and marketing. Sales and marketing has been what I love. I love helping people. It's just such a delight and satisfaction. It's the most highly satisfying job I think you could have. So I then decided I was going to go get that was July of the year 2000. So in August, I started my real estate license classes, and I liked it. And I was warned that the classes buy you nothing. You really have to get into the dirty part of it.
That's
right away. So when I became a realtor, I went with Coldwell Banker Success in the beginning, and then I only lasted there 11 months because the broker wasn't to my liking. He would walk around the building singing. Very strange, very
okay.
strange. But the ladies and the men who were working there were longtime experienced real estate agents, and they took me under their wing, and I very quickly learned that I needed to do open houses and catch people there and just take care of your clients, and you'll have a great career. So that fit with me because sales and marketing, I mean, what do you get if you're a sales and marketing agent and people don't like you and don't want to do business with you?
It's
You
true.
have, and referral. Then they taught me that it's such a strong referral business. So I knew I had to build my clientele pretty fast. My next door neighbor was going to put their house on the market. And I said, I went in and knocked on the front door and I said, I have my real estate license now. You have to give me your listing. And the lady looked at me and she says, Gerry, you have no experience. I said, you know that I will sell this house. I can sell anything, and I will sell your house. So I badgered them probably for a week or two, and the wife I knew was going to make the decision. And she just couldn't not say no at that point. That was my first sale.
All right.
Yes, and I learned a lot in the first sale, and there's been a zillion sales since then. And you learn from each transaction.
Yeah.
The biggest lesson is stay in touch with your past clients.
That's right.
Oh my goodness.
That's right.
That's the biggest thing you need to do. Just
Awesome.
and always do whatever the client needs you to do. Try to be informative and
Yeah.
try to help them.
That's great.
Well, Jeff, we're
That's
going to have to remove the singing segment, so you can't sing today.
I know. I'm like, what? Maybe he was walking around saying, "It's a brick house," right? No, I don't know. Corlene, how about yourself?
Yeah, drag that over there.
Is this close enough?
That's good. That's good. Yep.
Yeah.
Does that work? I started, got in real estate in 1990, and how I got there, we had just come back from, my husband was a vice president with Circle K Corporation, and we had spent a year in Japan and 2 years in Hong Kong, and then moved to Dobson Ranch. And I met one of my neighbors, and she said, you should come to our Century 21 office. They're going to pay for your license. It was $52 to get a license in 1990 with Century 21.
Wow.
So I did it. I got my license, and then they said, you have to take this course. It's called Sweat Hogs. And I'm going, what in the heck is that? It was a Floyd Wickman group. And at the end of 10 weeks, at the end of that first year after taking this course, I had 20 listings, and I never looked back.
Wow.
That's how I got
Wow.
started.
Sweat hogs.
Sweat Hogs, Floyd Wickman seminars.
That's
Nice.
great. I wonder if that's still around.
Yeah. 20
Sweat
listings.
No.
'Cause that's a lot of listings.
It's not. It's not.
All right.
Terminology probably wouldn't fit today's world.
No, it probably
that's
won't.
That's right. That was probably culture shock, wasn't it? Hong Kong to Dobson Ranch.
Oh, yeah, shopping paradise. Yeah,
Wow.
And the great thing for my kids, they went to school overseas. It was an experience, that they'll never
Oh,
forget, and I'll never forget. And then moved into Dobson Ranch, was in Mesa for a long time. So I got my license with Century 21 and worked with them until 2016. But in the meantime, I managed an office for Arizona Foothills, Century 21 Arizona Foothills. And then they closed that office during the downtime and moved up to the one in Carefree area and managed for him until 2016.
All right. And now you're happily over it.
Now I'm with Joe
JS.
at
There we go.
JS Real
Since
Estate.
2015, right? You joined our company when?
2016.
16. Yes.
Nice.
So, Joe,
Yeah.
why don't you share then a little bit about the brokerage itself? Like, we need to give a shout out, don't we? To
We do.
Elisa Axelrod,
Elisa.
right?
Oh, sure.
Getting
yeah.
you in here. So, Elisa's awesome.
She is awesome.
She is
Very,
awesome.
very knowledgeable title agent
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
and escrow. She's added a lot to our agents' success and has had offered tools and strategies that she's shared with agents to actually help them launch their business.
Yeah.
So
No, she does a great
she's
job.
quite she's a great
She's
resource.
very
Yeah,
good.
she just gave me a closing gift because I closed on one of my investment properties. She did closing cards, just closed cards. She called me up. She goes, "Here's my gift to you." I'm like, "That's awesome." So
Very thoughtful.
yeah,
All right.
She is.
A nice person.
yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about JS.
JS. Well, we just sell real estate at JS Real Estate. That's the purpose of the company. The company was started in 2012. I was with a franchise at that time. And at that time, my biggest client was Fannie Mae. Fannie was starting to cut back on distribution of leads to and property assignments to agents that needed to be centrally located to their properties. The broker I was with was in North Scottsdale. We lacked the prime location, and I discussed with Fannie setting up my own business. They had their requirements, and they approved me getting a new contract with Fannie in my own brokerage. I just had to set the company up and meet their objectives. So I actually sold more homes shortly after I started with the company through Fannie Mae. And Fannie was a long-time client. They were about 6 years with Fannie Mae.
Got it. So that was all the foreclosures.
Foreclosures, especially Fannie was
properties.
Bank-owned properties is what we sold quite a bit, probably 600 houses in a very short period of time.
Wow.
Learned a lot about real estate.
Yeah.
I was the resource for the broker at that time for anything Fannie. I would be the guy they'd come on hard matters. But I started the company. We focused on foreclosures. And Bob Luffler, a local consultant here in town, mentioned that we could actually hire real estate agents. And I thought, well, okay, I hadn't thought about that. But we started hiring real estate agents in 2016 on a part-time basis, and we started growing the company from a standpoint of helping other agents.
Got it. And so today, how many agents right now?
Approximately 20 agents, I believe.
Okay.
We haven't been really active in recruiting.
Okay.
And we recruit people that we tend to know
Yeah.
and people that want help making more money, basically.
Well, that's everybody, right?
Yeah.
Well, you.
Well, I knew I was going to get some flack for that one.
It's real estate's a complex business.
Yeah.
It's an easy business, but it's a complex business where you have a lot of people with varying degrees of skills and resources in the industry trying to make a living. And it's as a small broker, we're able to help tailor our training resources around their unique requirements. So if you look at the average real estate agent, there isn't really an average. I mean, you can kind of look at everyone's as a different set of skill sets. And real estate requires things that you don't actually learn in corporate America, skills that are unique in real estate. You know, how do you build a referral-based business? That's the strongest and most profitable part of the business, but many people don't learn how to successfully do that.
Yeah.
Having a CRM and
And then, when I worked with the franchise organization, I started with Keller Williams. And the mode in 2005 is you'd go to a class, you'd sit down with everyone else, and different vendors would come in and tell you about the next widget that's available. You know, you had to have an app on your phone. You had to do all these things. I was spending $4,000 or $5,000 a month in 2005 in direct mail campaigns.
Wow.
Largely unsuccessful.
I did television commercials,
really
largely unsuccessful.
But in real estate, there's so many different ways that people communicate and how to make money, and there's such a high failure rate in the industry. When you look at real estate agents in their first 2 years,
86% are gone in 2 years.
86% are gone within the first 2 years. And when you look at all the resources that franchise organizations boast about having, how can we have such a high failure rate?
Yeah.
You know, it's really
right.
And I think the consumer ends up being let down to some extent by not having the best and brightest agent on each transaction.
Do you feel like they should raise the bar as far as like how to get into real estate?
I'm not
should
sure.
there be more hurdles?
I'm not sure that would be effective. I think that it's hard to test people for the skill sets that are required. I think more and more that people need new agents. If you're talking new agents, they need more handling. They need more education. They need more support in the transaction.
Yeah. Okay.
They need to, because when I first started, I started with Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae was a referral. Okay. I got into Fannie Mae with a phone call. It was the least complicated referral that I've ever gotten, and it was the most business. I was selling 150 homes a year.
Yeah.
And that component was really significant. But as a new agent, I had no idea what a broker priced opinion was. I was asked to do a BPO. I'm thinking, okay.
Okay.
Woo-hoo. So I went to the broker, knocked on his door. Hey, you know anything about BPOs? And they looked at me like, yeah, okay, you need to take class. I'm thinking, don't have time for a class, so I bought a book.
Yeah.
And I learned how to do BPOs with some help from some asset management resources at the company. I was really in a situation where I was working for a major broker. They didn't have the expertise, and I was lost.
Got it. Gerry, how about you? Do you want to share, or Corlene, either one of you want to share the differences between working with a big
Sure.
franchise type company to go into more unique niche?
Well, I
broker?
told you that I started out with Coldwell Banker Success. I only lasted there 11 months, and then I decided they weren't going to help me. So I went to Century 21 because having run my own company, I knew I needed an identity. So I took that corporate identity, or I thought I needed that. I did get a lot of help in the very beginning, but it didn't last long because I found out that the way you succeed in real estate is your own self-motivation, the desire to help people, the desire to make money, the desire to succeed. And nobody can give you that. That has to come from within. They can help you. So with Century 21, I learned a lot. I never made the kind of money I was promised, even though I was a top producing agent in the largest Century 21 in the state of Arizona. Mm-hmm. So, in fact, Corlene, at that time, was my manager. That's how we know each other.
That's how we met.
That's how we met. So when it came time for me to leave that big corporate real estate environment, because I knew it wasn't helping me, I wasn't able to make money. They took so much. I said, okay, I have to do something else at this point in my life. And Corlene said, you need to come meet Joe. You should come meet our company. And I did, and that was it. I was done. Because I saw in Joe, sorry, Joe, I saw in Joe a broker owner who got what real estate is about, who really wanted to encourage me and answered the phone. Can you imagine? The broker picks up the phone. Hello, how are you? Always.
Yeah.
Always. He's so knowledgeable. I thought I knew a lot after 21 years in the business. Well, I left 2.5 years ago, Century 21. Mm-hmm. So I've been with Joe for 2.5 years. And he does know more than most managers of any real estate company, owners of any real estate company. I mean, you really do know. It's so broad. We have a large department of rental management.
Really?
And that was one of the keys for me, was moving from the large brokerage, because I have clients who own rental homes that I sold them.
Yeah.
And I needed to have somebody who could manage them if necessary. And this company does that very, very effectively. And as far as supporting the agents, we know, because Elisa, she comes to our meetings. Mm-hmm. And she is a great resource. I never had that with Century 21. Yeah, there would be a title agent occasionally. There'd be somebody from a lender occasionally. But you're talking to, usually the meetings are large, and they're not focused. Our meetings...
And they usually handpick just certain people that can go past the front door.
Yeah, exactly. But
and it usually comes down to this.
Our meetings are...
Who's paying what?
Yeah, our meetings are focused. They're focused on what the business, happening in the business, what's going on with the realtor. We share a lot. It's very, very open and sharing, and I like that. And the support that Joe gives to his staff is amazing, I think.
Excellent.
That's great.
It's my opinion.
Yeah, it's great. Corlene, anything else?
Yes, I came to Joe's office in 2016, and Bob Leffler with Fearless Agent said, you have to go talk to Joe about, because I was looking for another company. And so I did, and I joined his office in 2016. And Gerry's right. He is so knowledgeable and so helpful, and makes it easy to recruit to that office. because he does know, and he answers the phone, and I answer the phone. I work training the agents and in the office mostly, and I'll answer the phone whenever a call comes in, whether it's a weekend or an evening or whatever, and so will Joe. And that's a big part of what, if you ask any of our agents, that's something they love.
Yeah.
Because you don't get a broker in a big company. Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. What other things do you want to share about the company, Joe?
Well, I think that JS Real Estate, what we're looking at, and what I've learned by trying to run my own brokerage, is that the agents that work at the company not only have a range of skills and resources, but they have a range of requirements that are needed. As a broker, as a designated broker for a real estate company, your primary focus has been compliance with state laws. Okay. But a career in real estate is much broader than just trying to be compliant with what the state is expecting you in terms of your obligations to meet the regulations set forth by the state. You have the emotional trauma of being a real estate agent. Okay. I didn't make any money last month. What am I going to do to make my bills? How am I going to become successful?
Sure.
They see everyone around them being successful, but they themselves aren't realizing that potential. I've watched agents that could be top performers. They have everything they need, except perhaps they don't have the confidence because they've never done it. And when you're in the middle of a transaction, if you don't have the best support, you have a lot of stress in your life. Because you may not know everything you need to know because you haven't done 200 deals or 300 deals. I feel a guy that's done 200 or 300 deals all over the state's probably pretty well prepared for what's going to happen next. The next guy that walks in the door that has a multi-million-dollar opportunity.
Sure.
Everybody wants those opportunities, but they need the support of not only the transaction support. What is transaction support? You never hear anyone talking about. They talk about training. But transaction support when you have someone available that has more experience that you can say, hey, the seller is blowing up over this issue. How do I address it? What do I do to make it less stressful on top of the buyer?
Yeah.
And so those are the types of things that we can, because we're small, we can readily address.
Even if the agent has been in the business 21 years.
Sure.
Oh, that's great.
True.
Yeah. So,
Well, it sounds.
so
go ahead.
we're focused on making sure everyone has either the motivation support, the transaction support, or the broker management support needed to be successful in the industry.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely important to have as an agent. So I'm curious, on top of that, I guess, what other things do you provide, like in regards to maybe technology or getting out there, marketing?
Sure. Well, and the technology side, that's the area that I'm very familiar with because I ran a software company. We took it public in '96. I sold high-end systems, and I'm rather disappointed in the software technology that's offered to agents across the board.
Yeah.
Software companies in the real estate market innovate products based upon their clients' input, and the clients don't have the broad expertise needed to lead software development companies. Recently, the Arizona Association of Realtors adopted Transaction Desk. Okay, and I just heard everyone take a big side, I mean, even on the other side of this table, that it was not what everyone was expecting. So in my company, we license zip forms.
Okay.
Zip forms has all the transaction, all the documents, and it's a complete application that everyone's used to using. I pay for that.
Sure.
Agents don't have to pay for that technology. We have a website. We're bringing more traffic in. I found a software company in town here that's building my CRM tool for me.
Oh,
It's going to be something that I have very specific requirements for and features, so that if an agent wants to sell, let's suppose in the multifamily world, and he has a database of investors, well, my take on the requirements for our CRM is that if I'm dealing with an investor, I want to know his entire portfolio.
Yep.
Okay? Because when I'm talking to him, he's the guy that can maybe generate multiple deals for me in a 1-year period. I want to know who he is. I want to be able to talk about his entire portfolio. I don't want to scroll through building after building. So there's certain tools that we're just bringing into the marketplace
Okay.
with our system. We have basically our own website with leads and a CRM tool currently for all the agents to use. Most agents aren't using CRM tools; they're using spreadsheets and other databases that bring
Yellow
in.
Notepad.
Notepad. Yeah, I got one right here.
That's
I
what
used
Jeff
to use
uses.
yellow notepads.
I like it. I love yellow notepads. I say I can't, and I like technology, but there's something about writing something down with a pen and paper.
Sure.
It kind of sticks with you longer.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean,
Yeah, I've moved it from place to place in boxes.
so everything's automated in the company. You can, with Security Title's help, we have all the marketing collateral we need. I found in my career that I didn't use any of the flyers or postcards. I mean, I've used the stuff that title companies provide, and I'm more of a guy that likes to see custom stuff. Where I can actually tailor my message for my client specifically.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's great. Well, so agents that are watching or listening right now, how would they reach out to you if
Well, they
wanted
can
to ask you more
contact,
questions about JS?
Corlene Remmers at Corlene.com.
At Corlene.com.
And my email is joe@jsrealestate.com. Or my phone number, my cell phone, is 480-570-3465. And I suggest that anyone that has a challenge that they're facing to give me a call and just chat about what it is that they can look at doing to help them in their career. Whether it's at JS Real Estate or at any other brokerage, we want to see people succeed in real estate.
Yeah.
Because the more successful agents we have out there, in terms of not sales volume, but understanding how the transaction works, what value they bring to the table, being readily available if someone calls them. I have a very, I train our agents to be available.
Answer your phone.
Answer your phone, especially if you're in the middle of a transaction. Don't tell me to text you. I love dealing if agents that text and they're negotiating deal via text or doing their clients much service. It's like playing poker blind.
Sure.
No,
that makes sense.
What can you sell? What can you get? What can you negotiate? How do you negotiate? I think we do a very good job in helping people win deals, and it's about winning deals for our clients that our clients are happy with. It's not what I'm happy with, but what our clients are really happy with.
Yeah.
And I think we have the tools, the education, and the resources, but from Corlene, myself, Gerry has really been successful with the company. We just hired a
Best
person.
move I ever made.
We just hired a person that came from I won't say their name, but they're a big company. They probably have 3,000 or 4,000 agents here.
Wow.
It's not who you're thinking of, but they're not. It's not HomeSmart, but they've been in the business a long time. We have them in 3 transactions right now.
Oh.
And we're their transaction support engine behind them as they launch through this refocus their business.
Yeah.
That agent's skill is customer relations.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, it's not only good for the clients, but it's also good for the other agent you'll be working the transaction with. Because
Right.
I know when I'm working with an experienced, someone who knows how to do a transaction, I just feel much more comfortable.
It's all the difference in the world.
It
Absolutely.
makes all the difference in the world, and it makes a difference how you present your offer and how you get accepted. So if you're in a competitive market or hyper-competitive market, which we're just leaving,
Yeah, slowly. Yeah.
I can do deals that other people couldn't do because I said, look at my track record. Here's the offer. It's complete.
Sure.
We can get this thing done. And they'll look at me, or they may have known of me. And I was very successful over the summer months getting deals done that there was lines of people competing. And I put together deals on a telephone call.
Trade secret.
Oh, that's great.
So in any event, I think it's been an exciting time. And I think we're positioned to help other agents grow their business.
All right. Gerry, Corlene, anything else you want to add before we move to the next?
What I would say is that it's the best move that I made in my real estate career. Not only is the brokerage very professionally run and the support is phenomenal. I've never had that. Not with Century 21, not with Coldwell Banker. nowhere. There, you were just, it's up to you, everything up to you. It's nice to know, and I still, and even in this market, and I've been through 2005, 2006, 2000 through 2008. I've been all through that before. But this is different, and it's nice to know that I have two people, very experienced, who are behind me and support me and encourage me. The encouragement is important because sometimes real estate slaps you in the face, no matter what, and you just have to get back up and go back to the fight and not give up. You know, you have to stay in there, because if you don't do that, you're not only hurting yourself, it's your client, because
That's
you're
right.
working for your client. And you want to get them in a house, or you want to get their house sold, or you want to do both.
Yep.
And you've got to be able to do it professionally. And you want to keep them, and you want to make sure that they are going to be referring everybody they know. Multiple family. I have families that I've sold houses to, that I've sold their children and their children's children, if you can believe it. It's amazing. They're neighbors, friends, it's just everybody. But you'd be surprised how the word of mouth really can stoke you over the long term in a real estate career.
Sure.
You do a good job, you treat people nice, and you get them happily in the home of their choice and sell their other one. That's what gets you repeat business. I mean, I have people coming right now lined up from Oregon and Washington who are family members of one of my neighbors. And she's got 3 of them lined up for me.
Awesome.
And then another one from Oregon is people I sold a house to in my general neighborhood, must have been 10 years ago.
Wow.
They're referring, but you have to just do a good job.
Yeah.
Right. One of the things I want to just add, if I can, and one of Jerry's reminded me that one of the things that we really tell agents is that they're the brand.
Yeah, that's right.
Very, very
They
true.
are the brand, and what Jerry is describing is her brand, her name recognition with her neighbor, her success with her neighbor. Nobody can repeat that. It won't. They're not doing business with a broker. They need to know that the broker's there to support the transaction and make sure we're all in sync with meeting their objectives. But mostly, the agent is the person that's in front of the customer.
Yep. That's
And
so true.
we're
And that's
really-
what they remember.
That's right.
That was a shock to me after all those years
Right.
with a big brokerage.
They weren't doing business with Century 21, and they're not focused on JS Real Estate. They're focused on the agent bringing the deal
That's
to
it.
the table. And
Yeah.
the agent
More
just
agents need
represents-
to know that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
That is true.
Absolutely.
Absolutely true. Corlene, anything else?
Sorry. I don't want to hit you with the mic. I would
That would be
say-
a first.
That would be a first.
It's the other way around.
You know, one thing about coming to a smaller company, it's a community. Agents help each other as well. And we're there to answer their calls and listen to their problem and help them solve it. And if they want to do marketing, to give them some advice on that. And I think we offer all of those things on a one-to-one basis. Even new agents, we train them much differently than the big companies do, much differently.
Yeah.
So if you're just a new agent, come see me.
There you go.
There we go.
Agents, if you want to reach out to JS Real Estate. I think they gave you all the contact info already. So, are you guys ready to get in the ring?
Uh-oh.
Ready for the last part of this?
Sure.
All right, let's do
Okay,
it.
let's do it. It's 3-on-1.
Here we go. We're going to all arm wrestle right now. How about a book recommendation? Anyone? So everybody can answer, or just one, whoever wants to answer.
I decline to answer because it might be political.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's a good thing.
Okay, we'll skip that one. How about Apple or Android?
Apple.
Apple.
Oh, she answered that. Thank you.
Android, there's one. There's one for you, Joey.
She's like the smartest one there, that's why.
Although
Just
Apple
kidding.
Slews is a little, they've been falling down a notch or two.
Yeah, I do agree
So
with
their
that too.
Technology.
Yeah, they
They're
have.
just not,
They
it's
are.
not the same company
No.
that was when
Yeah.
Jobs was around.
Yeah. How about a favorite, if you watch any TV, how about a favorite Netflix or Amazon Prime series?
Or just TV
I
show.
don't
Or TV show.
I don't watch Netflix or Prime,
Yeah.
but I love The Masked Singer.
Oh, yeah.
The Masked
The
Singer.
Masked
We've
Singer.
never watched it, but I know.
It is so fun, and it's evolved over the 6 years that it's been on TV. I DVR it all the time if I can't
It's
watch
6
it.
years old already.
It
Didn't
is
even
just absolutely
I'll have to watch that.
wonderful.
They have a new one out too now, don't they? That's
I don't watch that.
Joe.
That's
like
virtual reality
virtual-
or
yeah,
whatever.
I'm like,
oh,
Yeah.
really?
I watched it once. I won't watch it
crazy.
again. But The Masked Singer is so much fun.
All right. I know Joey had a question. How about favorite place to travel? Everybody should have an answer for this, right?
There's so many places.
Yeah.
Well, I limit myself to one.
Where would you
There
go
you
to your next one? How about that one?
What's that?
Your next place that you'd want to go.
Well, I think I'm going to Pittsburgh for a wedding.
Oh, that's a great place.
Kansas or Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. D.C. is probably the funnest place that I've been to in the U.S.
Okay.
Just because of the culture, the museums,
All
and
right.
the history of.
History
Okay.
buff.
All right. Anybody?
Well, I spent 12 and a half years of my life in international marketing. Lived abroad
All right.
in Switzerland. So I've traveled everywhere. You name the country, I've been there. So I don't travel much these days. I have no desire to travel anywhere. I've been where I needed to go.
Did you have a favorite place?
Bulgaria.
Really?
If you ever have
Okay.
the opportunity, go to
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. From Sofia, which is in the western part, that's the capital, all the way through the country to a place called Plovdiv in the middle of Bulgaria, where I used to do exhibitions every year, and then all the way to the coast of the Black Sea.
Nice.
I mean, it's a special place. It's really a very special country. They have ancient Roman ruins in this Plovdiv, in the center of the country, that it was a crossroads between the East and the West for centuries and centuries. So what happened is that they have all of these Roman ruins, Turkish ruins, and they have a rule in Bulgaria that if they are digging to build something and they unearth a ruin, they can no longer
gotta
dig
stop.
anymore. They have to stop. And then they painfully unearth it, put lights on it, and they've preserved all of these ancient ruins. It's the most
Wow.
fantastic country. The only thing they do, though, is very confusing. Yes is, and no is this.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder why.
I don't know. It's the only country I was ever in that did that.
I have to Google that.
That's funny.
Okay, I also lived overseas between Japan and Hong Kong, but my most memorable trip was to Alaska. My daughter and I decided to take a trek. She lived in Anchorage, to the wildlife refuge, Arctic Wildlife Refuge. We spent 12 days hiking, rafting 90 miles of river, camping out.
Wow.
It was an amazing trip. And we had the tour guide from hell who brought a tablespoon of salt for all 12 days. So it was very interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah. Luckily, we brought a lot of extra food. So as my daughter and I, we never go anywhere without food. But it's an amazing state to visit.
Yeah.
I've been all over Alaska, and it's amazing, and you need to see it.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell my wife we need to go to Alaska, Joey,
Yeah.
but you know what's going to happen.
I've been there.
She's going to say,
was
she's
a
going to say, I
cruise,
don't
though.
do cold.
Take
so-
her to Bulgaria. It's a
Bulgaria.
Mediterranean country.
All right.
There you go.
Well, our next trip is February. We're going to Isla Mujeres, which is a little island off the coast of Mexico, close to Cancun there. So
Oh, wow.
it's only about 5 miles long and maybe a half mile wide at the most.
The island of the women.
Yep. Yep. We've been there. We went there once for our 25th anniversary. We went to Cancun and Playa del Carmen area, but then we went over there for one day and rented a golf cart to travel around the island. And now we're going back for 11 days just to
Good.
the island.
You'll have a
So-
great time.
Oh yeah, it's going to be awesome. We're excited. Well, thank you all for being in here.
Yeah.
This is great.
Thank you.
Appreciate
And a big
it.
shout out to Security Title and Fidelity National Home Warranty for sponsoring the show. And yeah, hopefully some agents reach out to you and ask some questions.
I'd love to talk to them.
They should do that.
All right. Well, thank you all
right.
so much.
Thank you.
Until
Thank
next
you.
time, agents, we will see you later. Adios.
Adios.
All right, good job.
Thank you all.
Thank you.